Get ready. Epcot opened in Walt Disney World in 1982 and was the resort's second theme park after Magic Kingdom. This was a huge shift in Disney's history, building a park aimed at an older demographic rather than their usual families and younger guests. That's not to say Epcot didn't accommodate families, but the tone of the park was very different from Magic Kingdom and Disneyland. The park's initial purpose was to act as a permanent World's Fair, and we see that reflected in the types of opening day Epcot rides and attractions. Several pavilions in the Future World area each represented different aspects of human life, and more pavilions in World Showcase portrayed life in various countries around the world. While we can still see this general concept in Epcot, it looks very different today than it did in 1982. And that is due to many old attractions being replaced through time. In this video, we outline some of the biggest former Epcot rides and attractions. Get ready. Number 8. Maelstrom. When compiling this list, I contemplated whether or not older attractions which were given an overlay should feature. Journey into Imagination has gone through some changes. The Seas with Nemo and Friends is an overlay of the original The Living Seas, and Grand Fiesta Tour starring the Three Caballeros is an overlay of the original El Rio del Tiempo in the Mexican Pavilion. But perhaps the most infamous of all is Frozen Ever After replacing Maelstrom in the Norwegian Pavilion. This is probably the overlay with the most difference from its original ride, so it's the only attraction that's going to feature in this video. Rather than travelling through Arendelle with Elsa and Anna and Olaf, guests would explore many aspects of Norwegian culture in search of the spirit of Norway. The log flume ride would pass a Viking village which represented the country's history. Guests would then see trolls representing Norse mythology. They would also see polar bears and an oil rig, which conveyed the nature and progress of Norway. The adventure would end in a harbour, where guests would exit the dock back on land. While quite dark and less child-friendly than a Frozen attraction, Maelstrom was a sign of what each pavilion could become in Epcot. It gained the affection of Walt Disney World fans through its 26-year history from 1988 until 2014, and many fans were dismayed to see it go. Thankfully, the track of Frozen is the same as Maelstrom, so it's not entirely extinct. Number 7. World of Motion. As previously mentioned, Future World was filled with pavilions exploring aspects of human life. We can still see this a little bit, with the Land and the Seas pavilion still somewhat intact. From opening day in 1982 until 1996, the building that currently houses Test Track was the Transportation Pavilion. Its main attraction was World of Motion. This was an Omni-Mover style attraction. Guests would enter slow-moving vehicles and be taken through the history of transportation, from the invention of the wheel right up until present-day transport. Well, 1996 day transport. Guests would see early-day boats, the use of animals in transport, Leonardo da Vinci's transportation concepts, stage coaches, early airplanes, and the invention of the car. This attraction was sponsored by General Motors, and upon exiting the ride, guests would see new concepts and developments designed by GM. As time went on, both Disney and GM felt that the attraction needed to be refreshed and move from the past to the present. This involved completely removing World of Motion and developing a brand new attraction focused solely on modern cars. And thus, Test Track was born. While we loved the thrilling replacement, World of Motion was still a great edutainment attraction. Thankfully, we still have Spaceship Earth. Number 6. Universe of Energy and Ellen's Energy Adventure. Staying in the lane of former Future World pavilions, Universe of Energy made up the Energy Pavilion. This explored how humans have captured and utilised energy through time. The roof of the building contained 80,000 solar panels, which helped power the attraction. The attraction operated under two names, Universe of Energy from 1982 until 1996, and Ellen's Energy Adventure from 1996 up until its closing in 2017. Universe of Energy was a moving theatre attraction. The experience was broken up into a pre-show, 2 film theatres and a diorama. The pre-show portrayed how energy forms and how it is harnessed by mankind. Guests would then take a seat in a theatre. These seats would move as part of large vehicles and would initially move in a circle. The first theatre showed the formation of life and fossil fuels. The theatre seats would then move out of the theatre and into a primeval diorama. This featured many types of dinosaurs, as well as a volcano and a boiling tar pit. The moving vehicles would then enter a second theatre, learning about the Earth's current resources and the future of energy. This attraction would conclude by entering the first theatre again, with the final show featuring lights and music as a celebration of energy. The 1996 refurbishment saw an updated and more lighthearted version of the exploration of energy. It was hosted by Ellen DeGeneres, and also featured Bill Nye the Science Guy and Jamie Lee Curtis. The pre-show was a spoof version of Jeopardy, showcasing how Ellen knows very little about the history of energy, and so must take this adventure through its history. Entering the same moving theatre seats, the first theatre took Ellen and Bill Nye back to the Big Bang. The vehicles would then enter the diorama, which was mostly unchanged, except for a strange-looking audio animatronic version of Ellen trying to fight off a dinosaur with a branch. This was removed in 2014. In the second theatre, Ellen and Bill explored current energy resources, similar to the original version, before returning to the first theatre, where Ellen would retake her place in Jeopardy and show off her new knowledge of energy. The attraction took its last ride in August 2017, and Disney announced that the pavilion will be replaced with a brand new roller coaster attraction in 2021, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. You can hear all about that in our Big Things Coming to Epcot video, which is up in the corner right now. As time goes on, Ellen's Energy Adventure is becoming one of the Epcot rides that we missed most. Number 5. Magic Journeys, Captain EO, and Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. In the Imagination Pavilion, a 3D theatre currently houses Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival. This theatre has been home to multiple extinct attractions. Firstly, Magic Journeys was an opening day attraction here and operated for just 4 years until 1986. It portrayed the world through the eyes of a child and very much utilised its imagination handle, with the child flying a kite that turns into a bird, a boat, a fish, and a merry-go-round, amongst other things. In 1986, Magic Journeys was replaced by Captain EO, a 17-minute science fiction film starring Michael Jackson, written by George Lucas and directed by Francis Ford Coppola, because you know, it's the 80s. It featured some strange-looking creatures thanks to George Lucas, and the characters regularly broke out in song and dance thanks to Michael Jackson. In hindsight, it very much feels like a Michael Jackson music video set in the Star Wars universe. This also featured in Disneyland Resort, Tokyo Disneyland, and Disneyland Paris. It closed in Epcot in 1994. Honey, I Shrunk the Audience was a show based on the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids film franchise, opening in this theatre in 1994. Guests would enter the theatre and attend an Inventor of the Year ceremony. A shrinking machine would accidentally shrink the audience, and in their shrunken state would encounter a snake, a dog, and the cast from the film franchise, before the process is reversed and your size is restored. In 2010, after 16 years, this was replaced by Captain EO once again, which was opened as a tribute to the late Michael Jackson. Captain EO is filled with 80s charm that no longer felt dated but felt more like a time capsule 25 years later. This ran for 5 years before being replaced by the Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival. Perhaps we'll see Honey, I Shrunk the Audience return at some point in the future. While once probably dated, it now feels full of 90s charm and nostalgia. Number 4. Body Wars. Body Wars was a motion simulator attraction based in the Wonders of Life Pavilion, a currently unused pavilion that sits between the Universe of Energy and Mission Space. This pavilion also had a theatre and exhibitions showcasing healthcare, nutrition, and the human body. But its signature attraction was Body Wars. The ride technology was a carbon copy of Star Tours in Disney's Hollywood studios. Guests would board large vehicles and become microscopic to take a journey into the human body, not dissimilar from what they get up to on the Magic School Bus.
What's that? Girl, that's a booty hole.
White blood cells are breaking down a splinter in the subject's finger. When the doctor taking a cell count is accidentally sucked into a capillary, the captain of your vehicle follows her in order to save her. This takes the vehicle through the heart, the lungs, the brain before safely escaping. Epcot rides and attractions are known for their edutainment value, a term that means simultaneously educational and entertaining. By today's standards, Body Wars may have been a little too educational and not so entertaining. The ride technology was also becoming dated, which led to its removal in 2007, ending an 18-year run of the park after opening in 1989. Surprisingly, the Wonders of Light Pavilion has sat unused for 13 years now since its closure. But Epcot fans will be delighted to know that it will reopen soon as the Play Pavilion. This has been described as an interactive city where guests will be able to interact with their favourite Disney characters. It will also include Animation Academy and a monorail attraction amongst other things. Number 3. CommuniCore and Innoventions. The central area of Future World was initially called CommuniCore. It served as a pavilion of communication, which was fitting as it was the place that connected all other Future World pavilions. This also served as a pavilion of science and technology. We can still see this communication concept on Spaceship Earth, the area's signature attraction. In 1982, Epcot opened amidst the dawn of the modern computer, and this area served as a way to educate guests on the utility and benefits of computer technology. Given the rapid development of computers, science and technology, Epcot's land had to keep up with the latest trends. In 1994, CommuniCore was replaced with Innoventions, an exhibition area where various displays and interactive attractions could come and go. Some may remember early features such as the Sega Arcade, Test the Limits Lab and Tom Morrow 2.0, as well as later features such as Stormstruck, Sum of All Thrills and Colortopia. Innoventions was also home to Club Cool, a Coca-Cola sponsored area where guests could try different beverages from around the world for free, including the infamous Beverly. At the time of this video, this area is undergoing a huge redevelopment. This will see the Journey of Water, a Moana themed walk-through attraction, replacing some of the area. We will likely see some other features in this area that are yet to be announced. Number 2. Kitchen Kabaret and Food Rocks. In the Land Pavilion, where part of Soarin' Around the World is now, a theatre once resided which hosted 2 shows across 22 years. Kitchen Kabaret from 1982 until 1994, and Food Rocks from 1994 until 2004. Kitchen Kabaret featured various audio-animatronic foodstuffs performing musical numbers on stage. Your host, Bonnie Appetit, would take you through the various food groups, where you would see dairy products, meat, cereals and fruits all performing original songs. Food Rocks would replace Kitchen Kabaret in 1994, now featuring popular songs from artists such as Queen, The Beach Boys, Cher and Peter Gabriel. Audio-animatronic food still performed the songs with tongue-in-cheek names like The Peach Boys and Peter Gabriel. The updated shows followed a story of a rock band called XS wanting to eat junk food, but the good food ultimately wins. Food Rocks just lasted 10 years until the theatre was removed for Soarin' Around the World. In hindsight, it was one of the more unusual Epcot attractions. Number 1. Horizons. The final entry in this video is Horizons. Where Mission Space currently resides was once home to another Omnimover style attraction, similar to Spaceship Earth and the aforementioned World of Motion. The attraction explored the concept of the future. It began with looking back at what previous generations envisioned the future to look like, going from Jules Verne's visions from the 1800s to how people viewed the future in the 1950s. This would often include poking fun at the naivety of its concepts. It then went on to make its own projections, looking at the future of cities, agricultures, home life, and making far reaches with deep sea and space colonization. This tied in all aspects of the Future World pavilions, representing what the future of human life may look like. Horizons was a spiritual sequel to Carousel of Progress found in Magic Kingdom, an attraction depicting snapshots of a family through decades of the 20th century. It even featured its signature song Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. While very elaborate and immersive, Horizons probably got caught up in its own joke, seeming quite naive with its projection now looking back. That said, it's a fantastic insight into how America in the 1980s envisioned the future and the 21st century. Horizons opened in 1983, a year after Epcot opened its doors. It closed in 1994, but reopened again in 1995 while World of Motion and Universe of Energy underwent changes. It would then close permanently in 1999, and Mission Space would replace the building in 2003. Horizons is one of the most fondly remembered extinct Walt Disney World attractions, and is still missed today despite being extinct longer than it ever existed. If you enjoyed this Attraction Graveyard video, be sure to check out some other episodes in this series which are on screen now. Are there any other extinct Epcot rides and attractions that you remember? Be sure to let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for new weekly content. Now you're ready.